World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. United States President Donald Trump announced on Tuesday a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering or leaving Venezuela, calling the Maduro government a foreign terrorist organization. Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America, Trump wrote on his social media platform Truth Social, saying the blockade would remain until Caracas returned all of the oil, land, and other assets. Anadolu reports Trump accused the regime of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro of using oil revenues to fund drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping, and said Venezuelan nationals previously sent to the U.S. were being returned at a rapid pace. The announcement comes amid mounting tensions between the two countries as Trump continues to demand Maduro step down from power, maintaining that all options, including military force, remain on the table amid a massive force buildup in the region. The U.S. has already carried out 22 known strikes on alleged narco-terrorist seaborne vessels, killing 87 people since attacks began in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean in early September. In other news overseas, heavy rains over the past week have worsened the already harsh conditions faced by hundreds of thousands of displaced Palestinians in Gaza, according to the United Nations. As reported by the BBC News, UNICEF says the overnight weather was extremely severe, with flood waters reaching several inches deep in some areas. Aid workers warn that children living in tents and makeshift shelters, many in wet clothes, are at serious risk of hypothermia and illness. Gaza's health ministry reports that one baby has died from hypothermia, while at least 11 others were killed when buildings collapsed due to the heavy rains. Although UN agencies have increased deliveries of tents, blankets, and clothing since the ceasefire began, they say the aid is still not enough. Nearly 55,000 families have been affected, with shelters damaged or destroyed. More than 40 emergency shelters were badly flooded earlier this week, forcing many displaced families to move yet again. And finally, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signaled that he will not back down from his demand that Ukraine give up territory despite growing efforts from the United States to push for a peace deal. Speaking at a meeting of Russia's defense ministry, Putin said Moscow would prefer a diplomatic solution but warned that Russia is ready to take what it calls its historical lands by military force if talks fail. The CNN reports Putin also criticized Ukraine's European allies, saying meaningful peace discussions with them are unlikely for now. Territory remains a major obstacle in peace negotiations, along with security guarantees for Ukraine. Russia has already declared parts of eastern Ukraine annexed though it does not fully control those areas. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has rejected Russia's claims, saying Ukraine will never recognize occupied regions as Russian. He also warned that Moscow's idea of historical lands could threaten other European countries. U.S. President Donald Trump says a peace deal may be closer than before, but Ukraine's European allies remain cautious and continue to call for strong security protections. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.